I'm currently around 40 hours fasted. And I've just realized how much of a toll it's taken on me. Like, I tried to record a different video before this talking about the idea of inaction and why people aren't moving towards what they know they should be doing. And I just couldn't formulate my sentences because I can't focus right. I've decided to switch topics, and now in this video I'm going to do a really short one and explain just exactly how I was able to get my first client. So I started my agency journey around the 26th of January this year. I started that by buying a course for around £700. I spent the next month or so just reading the contents of the course and just soaking it in right in theory, because I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it in theory. And then how I started action like a muppet, like after that, for like the next month, I literally spent it just building a logo, building a brand name, and just doing all the stuff like the busy work what has nothing to do with actual agency, which was insane, right? I wasted so much time. Like, not the name and the business and the logo, literally it matters zero. You can make it up. You can literally be ironic and make it as bad as possible. Just don't make it in your own name. You can literally just make the worst name ever. I would suggest not to I would suggest not to put media or marketing or agency or any words like that, any buzzwords. Just make it sound integrated to your niche. So like for mine, practice procedure is to do with dentistry, right? So that's what it is. And so how I got my first client was when I actually started doing the work. I started off doing cold calls, right? And in my last video, I show you my very first cold call. So I started out with the bog standard, this is a cold call, by the way, script, which didn't work whatsoever, right? And so cold calls is only really going to work when you've got enough conviction and authority in your voice, and you know how to structure a cold call to an extent where you can actually make it work. So I did 1,000, what I'm trying to say is I did 1,000 cold calls, and I didn't get any sales calls. I got one call, right? Okay, I got one sales call, but I was so nervous because I was going through the motion of going through the script. So when the person was actually interested in booking a call, I was so shocked because I hadn't got it before. I kind of stumbled it, right? I was like, oh, and then she literally asked me, do you not need my email? Because I forgot to ask for her email to book the call in, like a complete idiot, right? And it was a no-show anyway. So I did around 1,000 cold calls, didn't get any appointments. And then I remember having a consultation with some guy who does SMMA, he makes like 50K a month. And I told him my situation. He was like, dude, you don't like, when I actually started tracking the results of everything, right, I realized I did 1,000 cold calls, but I only actually spoke to the manager around 50 times. And so the rate of which I was speaking to the manager was so low, it just didn't make sense doing cold calls any further. So I didn't realize this though. I was kind of just like, I'm going to do cold calls for 8 hours a day and I'm going to figure it out. And so when I told the situation to a guru, he literally is like, dude, why are you doing cold calls? You need to do email outreach. He said you need to do email video outreach. And so that's what I started looking into. And then I got to a point where I was doing these things called pitch lane, which is, you know how you can do looms to clients, right? And so what pitch lane is a way to scale that, because people doing all these kinds of different nonsense. I can't even think of any now where like these little hacks where it would allow them to send looms automatically. But now pitch lane is like this AI software which allows you to send personalized videos at scale to different clients through email. So I asked for permission in the first video because what I was doing, I was making the videos one by one for clients, right? One by one for clients, because the more personalization, the better. And because I was doing it at such a small scale at the start, I just thought, you know what? I'm just going to send them one by one and make it really, really personal, make it really hard for them to ignore me, right? Email outreach was the way I got my first client. Don't do it one by one. If you're doing it one by one, you're never going to scale. I literally got instantly, and then I spent like £1,000 on email domains. So I'm able to send like 900 emails a day. But the thing is, my requirements for the lead list was so stringent, right? There's so many different requirements, like they had to have less than 100 Google reviews. I had to have their Google page with their reviews, their website page. So on the pitch lane, I could show, like in the pitch lane, you can have a background of different links, right? So in the pitch lane, you can have a background of the client's Google page, for example, which is what I did. And so it showed their Google page with less than 100 Google reviews. I was talking about how I could do Google review campaigns and get their reviews boosted in the hundreds, right? And so with my lead list, what I'm trying to say, with my lead list, I had their Google page, I had their Facebook page, I had their website, I had their email, and I wanted their personal email. I didn't want the reception email when possible. Their first name, their company name, There's so many different requirements, and with it being only in the UK, there's not really many companies to reach out to. And so that's what I was doing. And then offering the service of, first it was 5 Invisalign cases per month or you don't pay, which is not very effective, right? Now I just started saying high value treatments and then taking their highest ticket treatments and putting it in the text. And I use that as a variable. So one of the variations on the lead list was the services. And then so I'd have the lead list guy go on their website and look at their most expensive services and then put that as a variable on it instantly. So it's like I was talking to the principal dentist in a way that he could understand, like it was in a personalized way. And so I was doing that. But what I'm trying to say is it was really hard to get leads with all these requirements. So even though I can send 800 emails a day, I was getting my leads back in different bulk, right? And there was a point where I'd hired like 7 lead list builders and I just had them all building. It was really messy. It just didn't work out very well. They'd all make sets of 50, right? But then they'd all overlap because of duplicate leads. So I had to just kill off all the different lead list builders. And right now I only have one guy just giving me hundreds of leads, right? I'm sending around 100 emails a day. But then they've all got follow-up sequences. And I'm following up like 4 or 5 times. So I'm sending 100 emails a day. And it's literally took me sending around 600 different emails. But then I've followed up with those 600 different emails 4 sets of times. So that's how much volume it took for me to get one client. But before you get disheartened by that, it is a stage now where I'm in the talks with maybe 4 other different clients. I've had like 10 practices say that they want me to send their video. And so I've made around 10 different personalized videos for clients. So it seems to be about around a 10% conversion rate to get a client. But I'm in the talks with like 5 other different clients right now, and potential clients, and signing them. And the funny thing is, the one client that I did sign, it wasn't through the pitch lane. So I said in the video, would you like me to send you the video, blah, blah, blah. And then he was like, let's just jump on a call. And so I'm like, a Zoom? And he's like, no. So we just go on a phone call. And essentially he's just like, I trust you, I'll do it. I didn't follow any sales call structure. I didn't do any problem solving, objections handling, moving them towards their goal, any of that nonsense. I literally just hopped on the call and he was like, yeah, let's do it. I sent the contract over. He signed it the next day. We went on a Zoom call for around 2 hours and I was just getting him onboarded, right? So that's how I got my first client, just doing email outreach at scale. And so the cool thing about doing those pitch lane videos, the pitch lane automation videos is a process in itself, right? I don't follow a script anymore. I just kind of say the same thing for each practice, and then I'll audit their practice before I'm bulk sending out the emails, right? But when I get a response saying they're interested and they want to hear the video, that's when I really niche down on that individual person. But because I'm getting rid of all the uninterested leads with the permission script, I can really double down and get really personal with the people who actually seem interested, right? And so what I'll do is I'll audit their practice, I'll look at their services, I'll try and analyze the principal dentist and see what their personality type is like, right? If on their website they're very attached to their acclaims, I will claim that they're a yellow personality type and they take a lot of pride in their work. So in the video, I'll be tendering to their ego, right? I'll be complimenting them a lot, highlighting their achievements. And so, I'm just really trying to talk to that person how they'd want to be talked to, right? And just placate to their needs. If you haven't read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, that'll be a good starting point to just really learn about the idea of placating to people's needs and just telling people what they want to hear, and how everybody just wants to feel understood and heard, right? And so if you give them that, they're going to love you. So yeah, that's with the pitch lane process. It's a process in itself. And if the hard thing about it is you've got to shoot the video in one take. You don't get to do cuts, right? I'd have to be able to pitch the video in one take without any blunders. So sometimes it will take me hours just to send 1-2.5 minute videos to a client. So it has really been a process, but it's been a rewarding process. And now I've got my first client. It's about getting the service delivery knocked down and just really doubling down on that. All my service delivery is Facebook ads, starting out with, maybe I'll branch out in the future, do SEO with Google, do TikTok ads or whatever, but I'm just starting out with Facebook, nice and simple. It's just a usual typical marketing agency. And so what I'm doing is I'm literally just taking a Facebook ad, doing a Facebook form, and then they click and then it goes to their landing page. And then I've got a go high level automation set up. So when they do that, they receive a text straight away from filling out the Facebook form. It's like a Facebook form integration to go high level. The trigger is the form is completed, and then you get an automatic SMS straight away saying, hey, thank you for filling out the form. Where are you located? That is sent to reception's mobile, and then reception takes on. So reception are literally just getting text messages. They will be getting text messages every day just saying, you've got a new lead, and you get all these interests. And all you got to do is just conversate with the different leads and just get them booked in for a free consultation for Invisalign, right? That's all the services. And then a part of my service as well, other than that, which is just super simple, right? Part of my service other than that is a Google review campaign. So I'm doing an automation where I take all of the list of past patients of my client and just put them into Go High Level. I'm doing a Google review campaign where I'm offering as an incentive for them to leave a review. If they leave a 5-star review, they're entered into a raffle. They're entered into a contest where they can win a free teeth whitening service worth £400. And then there's going to be 4 follow-ups. So it's going to be like, reminders, there's 3 days left to enter the campaign, free whitening, leave a review here. And then that's all it is for the Google review campaign. So I'm doing that. And then I'm doing Facebook ad form as well. And then in the future, I'm going to do database reactivation campaigns where I email and SMS all of their patients, like, would you like to do a teeth whitening, half price or whatever. So that's just what it is. And I'm really just focused on blowing it out the park for my clients so I can get really good testimonial. One, so they're happy. I'm doing a pay on results model, so it's £100 per confirmed case. So if I can get them 20 cases this month, I'm going to get £2,000. So it's pay on results. And so I want to do that so I can get paid, right? And then also so I can get amazing testimonials, go back to the instantly campaigns and get things sorted out. Also, I'm in the UK, but I'm doing with my email outreach, I'm reaching out to US leads and I'm reaching out to UK leads as well. And so I changed the campaign copy for each one, just talking symbols of $ and pounds, depending on where I'm reaching out to and the terminology as well. But it's just iteration because starting out, you don't know I didn't know the language in which the dentist spoke. So it was just reaching out. I'd reach out to 100 and then I'd get no responses. And it just feels like I'm burning leads, but it is an iteration process. And it's just like, I literally just dedicate time right now to just come up with different copywriting. Like I've read loads of different psychology books. I've read Influenced by Robert Cialdini. I've read about Carl Jung now. I'm reading about Sigmund Freud soon. And so I'm reading about psychology and obviously Dale Carnegie. I've read a lot of copywriting books as well. I've read about Dan Kennedy, The Ultimate Sales Letter. I've read about the Robert Collier letter book. And obviously I've taken a lot of different courses. I watched lots of different YouTube videos on copywriting. So I'm just taking these different practices and just trying them out. I'm using all the different mental models that I've conjured throughout all the different learning I've done in theory. I'm trying out different things and practices just to see what works. And I'm really just getting experimental with it and just I'm tracking everything when it comes to the email. So I'm tracking the open rates. I'm testing out that now because I've got the $100 version of Instantly. I'm testing out different subject lines. I'm testing out different openers because even when you send the email, they get to see a preview of the email. And so because they've been reached out to so many different times with people saying, I can do this guaranteed or you don't pay. When that's at the preview of the email, they're just going to automatically either block you or delete the email. So I've tested around with different things like, I hope you're having a good day, or I'm reaching out to you because, and I'm just putting something there. So in the preview, they don't know exactly what it is that I am saying. I learned this from Charlie Morgan, this idea of when people are checking their emails, they're just in this half-conscious state and it's automatic just to preserve energy, right? And the psychological principle of what Robert Cialdini talks about of click run, where we have these automatic responses because without them, we would literally be interpreting everything for the first time always. It's like when you go to a new country and you're interpreting loads of different things, or as a child, everything is foreign, right? And everything is new and everything requires conscious effort. If that was the case, we'd have to think about the law of gravity and our fingers and stuff as if it was for the first time always, and it wouldn't make sense. And so when a client is in their inbox, they're automatic to preserve energy. They're not reading every single email that they get all the time. They're trying to see which emails they can just delete off the rip without even opening, right? Or unsubscribe to or block. And so you want to have a pattern interrupt so there, at least you just want to get them to think. Because if you get them to think, you're already ahead of 80% of marketing agencies because they've just got in their preview, would you like to get 5 new cases? So they see that marketing inquiry or some stupid subject, so they just get automatically deleted. So if you can make them think, you already interrupted the pattern. The idea of a pattern interrupt is doing something different to get the client's attention. So if you've done that, you already away to the races. You've really just got to take the frameworks, what people are teaching you, and understand that they're saturated. So you've got to word things differently and just try things and just be different. It's like even with my YouTube videos, I'm doing things differently because, you know, my framework, the way I title my videos is different to the status quo. The way I do my thumbnails, my framework is different. So everything is just about interrupting the pattern. It's about doing things differently with the email outreach, and even just outreach in general, whether you're doing a cold call, it's about doing things different and just speaking the language of the client and joining the conversation they're having in their head. So they've already got a conversation in their head. So if you can join that conversation using all the lingo that they use in a way that is conversational, as if they're just talking to a peer of theirs, you're gonna have a lot better chance. And so I'm only at my first client, so I'm only a rookie, but I'm showing you everything that's made me work, because sometimes it's hard for somebody to go to where they are at 0 to like 10 million a month. Like a guru is. To bridge that gap is very hard. So sometimes you just need to take that one step. And so this video, for the person who has 0 clients, this is the first step, right? This is going to be a lot more relatable to them than somebody talking about complex business infrastructures and starting a SaaS company and doing brick and mortar and having like complex business infrastructures. So I hope this helps. It's very messy. Like I said, I'm 48 hours fasted. So I hope this video helps and you can take something from it. And don't give up as well. Like, there's this 5 emotional stages of change where, because you don't know what you're doing and everything requires conscious effort, that will, like at the start you would have thought it was easy starting out, your expectations would have been weird. Uninformed optimism. Stage number 2, informed pessimism, is when you start something out or you take one of the frameworks and you just copy it and it doesn't work and you're disillusioned and you're like, oh, this is actually harder than I thought, and it's not going to unfold like how I thought it was to. And so your expectations are shattered and you're disillusioned, and so you go to informed pessimism. So you're like, nah, oh, this is hard, I'm not going to be able to pull this off. And then you slip into valley of despair, step number 3, I'm going to quit because this is too hard. I'm dissing the people who gave me this information because it doesn't work. SMMA is saturated, I'm just going to go into something else, shiny object syndrome. But if you hold on and you just iterate and you sit with that discomfort and just embrace that feeling of feeling stupid and that you don't know what you're doing, if you sit with that and you just iterate and you find a way to make it work for you, you're going to go to step number 4, which is informed optimism. You're going to be like, okay, cool, awesome. You'll find something that will work, sorry, then you're going to be like, oh, cool, awesome, I get it now. And then you can start to automate that process, get that click run in place, and just automate this whole process, right? And you're going to get to step number 5, like where I am right now. Success, because I've got my first client. If you have no clients right now, this video should be like a mastermind, what you really relate to. If it isn't, watch it a few times and just really internalize what I'm saying. It is messy. I'm sorry. I'm like 48 hours fast. I literally can't even form sentences right now. Yeah, you're going to get to stage number 5, success, and you're going to be able to scale it. And so just don't give up. I'm rooting for you. We got this. We're going to the top, right? We're going straight to the moon.